Hello, good morning and welcome to Narrowboat Gentian. It's a Sunday morning, it's an absolutely beautiful day. Blue skies, sunshine, quite mild, about 9 or 10 Celsius. Hang on, let's do the conversion. 10, 20, 18... that's 50 Fahrenheit. Very pleasant, mild breeze, and I'm going to take the boat out for its first trip. Well, not its first trip, the boat's 24 years old. My first trip on it. I'm only going to do a short journey. This is a quick shakedown cruise to check all's well. I'm going to go from the marina to Lincoln, which is about 2 miles away, which is, 40 minutes at narrowboat speed, and then just turn around and come back. And that will be a good initial test of how the boat is doing. And then the next time I come, I will do a longer one, I think, from here to Torksey, which is going the other way. Anyway, for now, let's untie the ropes, fire up the engine, possibly not in that order, and set off. And so, sounding like a deflated party horn, the engine was engaged. We slipped out of the pontoon and headed for the marina exit, trying not to hit any of the other boats in the process. There was no wind, yet still it was somehow trying to blow the boat sideways. An immediate problem occurred. I definitely need a hat. Baseball cap or something, that's better.
I had to spend the rest of the outgoing cruise like this. Here we go then, let's warn others of our impending exit. As it happens, the way was clear, and so I headed east.
Well, here we are then. First cruise. Going along quite nicely. No other traffic so far, no problems coming out of the marina. Maybe I speak too soon, but in the first 100 yards it's all been good.
The sun was shining and the birds were clearly happy. Those are the houses of the Burton Waters estate which surrounds the marina. And the building with the spiky bits on top is Lincoln Cathedral. I wouldn't have time to visit today. It's an odd thing, but river distances are given in kilometres even though we use miles in the UK. I assume the sign is how far to the River Witham ahead or to the Trent behind me. As we chugged along, a rare thought crossed my mind.
The thing about my old narrowboat was that with 7 years aboard, I knew how it should sound. And as you're going along, you'd know how the propeller felt and the rudder felt, and you could detect whether you'd got something round the prop or whether the engine was sounding funny. This one being completely brand new to me, I have no idea. It all sounds normal, which is good, but I've just got to get used to its quirks and foibles, and there are little things I can hear rattling, and I can hear that some of that's just stuff inside the cabins. I've poked my head down briefly, and I think it's the plates. But then you hear another rattle, you think, now what's that? And, oh, that's a deck board, that's all right. Just got to get used to which are the normal rattles, and then if I suddenly hear something that's not normal, I'll know it's a problem.
Behind those trees is a railway line. Behind that bank is clearly a very popular path for walking and cycling, as there were loads of people using it, albeit none at the exact moment that I filmed this. And some things never change on the canals. There's always some vegetation that needs trimming back.
According to the map book, as I approach this bridge, we've done precisely 1 mile. and there are some moorings immediately after the bridge. I can see a boat moored there. How much mooring there is remains to be seen. Not that I'm stopping, I'm just noting it for interest.
You know you're canal boating when joggers and pedestrians overtake you. Ah, the distance must be to the Trent in the opposite direction. Here's the moorings by a pub, which is very much a canal theme. And proper bollards to tie up to, rather than having to bang pins in the ground. Here's a weird thing. When I bought the boat, the rev counter was jumping all over the place. Now it was working perfectly, but I've changed nothing. What do you make of that, Duck? Now this takes me back a long line of moored canal boats, smoke wafting gently from the chimneys in the still chilly spring air. An interesting boat with a nice cat aboard. Plenty of swans round here, and they headed purposefully towards me, wings folded like an imperial shuttle coming into land. After I went past without feeding them, they pursued me like an imperial squadron chasing stolen Death Star plans. The whole scene was observed by an octopus in a washing line. Just your average day on the canals, really. A block of flats suggested I was approaching Lincoln, but my slowed pace past the moored boats meant something inside was really rattling. I think it's the oven. This hut, that looks like somewhere the kids in a horror film get murdered, is seemingly the CRT facilities point. Nope, my mistake. There it is. Squadron 3, you are cleared for landing. There's Lincoln, dead ahead past some permanent moorings. A concrete road bridge loomed in the distance, but would I fit under? Ah, yes, I think the narrowboat will scrape through that air draft. Another narrowboat was coming the other way, and they're viewers of this vlog, so they shouted hello, which was lovely.
Love your vlog, sir.
As I went under the bridge, I was coming into Brayford Pool, which is a large pool. I wonder how long it took them to name that. There's clearly everything a person could want for shopping and nightlife down at Brayford Pool. And in the corner, the route onto the River Witham down to Boston, from where you can cross the Wash, as I showed in a video some years back. Now brace yourself for a pirouette. It turns out my tiny boat will spin on a sixpence. The ducks were impressed. And so I began straight back the way I'd come. But there was one tiny matter to take care of, that ringing noise from the oven. So I pulled into the visitor moorings and took the grill pan out. Problem solved. Phew. Heading off again just moments later, and there was a big cruiser to avoid. Luckily, the Fosdyke navigation is nice and wide. We both waved as we crossed.
I think what I'll do when I get back, apart from have a cup of tea and some paracetamol for a splitting headache I've got, is dive straight into the engine bay and just have a look, see if there's any signs of anything. I'm pretty sure the boat's been very well looked after. The air filter was spotless. But you know, my first trip out, I might as well just dive down there, see if I can see any obvious oil leaks, fuel leaks, water leaks. With the engine having had, well, it'd be about an hour and a half's worth of very gentle travel along the canal. Just have a look, see what I can see. It might be perfect, I hope it is. But I think that would be a job worth doing as soon as I tie up. From here, it's a very gentle amble back to Burton Waters.
I can't quite get used to having so much deck space. I could do a song and dance number here. But I also mustn't absent-mindedly step sideways one day. And there's another novelty about this boat too.
Sitting down to steer. I couldn't really do that on Rayland.
To be honest, I prefer standing, and it doesn't hurt my back even after hours. Yet, standing with someone while they're shopping is immediately painful. It's odd, that. The breeze was rising, but not enough to generate any power. Meanwhile, at the pub, the tables were full of people enjoying a traditional Sunday roast in the sun. Many of them waved. People are so friendly in Lincoln, it was really noticeable. The houses of Burton Waters meant I was nearly back. That green bridge is over the marina entrance, so I just needed to turn in without thumping anyone or anything. A quick blast on the horn is advisable. That'll do.
Well, the adjustment I made to the throttle cable has made it much, much better. I can properly idle now in gear. As you can see, barely moving through the marina. And we are in gear and the engine is happy. That is much better because I was racing along before. I'm not entirely happy in one sense with the adjustment. in that it's now ultra sensitive. You only need to move the throttle a tiny bit and it revs up, and that's because I moved the linkage to a different hole. But that seemed to solve the problem of the dropping out of gear, so it's going to stay as it is, I think. Just need to remember which pontoon I'm berthed on.
And one final moment of adrenaline as I turned the corner to the pontoons. Another boat and I had to dance around each other. No worries. I found my pontoon and crashed gently into the end of it, which I'm not showing you.
I've had a quick peek in the engine bay. It all looks fine. I wasn't really expecting it not to. Yeah, all good down there. No water leaks, no oil leaks, no fuel leaks. Everything as it should be. I can confirm the calorifier is working as expected. I just ran the hot tap and hot water came out, so the engine is definitely doing its job and heating up the water.
A good day. Thanks for watching. Cheerio.